Aidite new product, Ezneer, born for veneer.
Aidite nieuwe product, Ezneer, begon voor veneer.
Aidite nuevo producto Ezneer, nacido para la veneer.
Aidite nuova produzione Ezneer, nacido para veneer.
Novo lançamento Aidite. Linha Ezneer, nascida para facetas.
Aidite nouveau produit, Ezneer, né pour la facette.
Aidite の新製品、Ezneer、ベニヤ用に生まれました。
Nuovo prodotto di Aidite, Ezneer, nato per le faccette estetiche.
Hi everyone, thank you all very much for coming to the Ezneer Veneer Zirconia new product launch. Please allow me to express our most sincere thanks on behalf of Aidite for your support over the years. Aidite is a comprehensive dental service company with a 14-year history of growth, committed to building a global dental ecosystem with technology and becoming a world-class dental service company. Of course, to do this, we need continuous innovation and the development of products that can meet our customers' needs. Ezneer is another of our great breakthroughs in the use of zirconia as the material for veneers. So why do we develop a zirconia specially for making veneers? What are the advantages of using zirconia to make veneers? First one, high strength, less chipping, low rework rate. Second, better opacity. Third, exclusive whitening color system. Of course, we also have our zirconia bonding pretreatment agent, which can solve the bonding of zirconia. This way, you can use zirconia veneers without worrying about the loss of bonding. Okay, now we have already understood why this product was developed. Now let me tell you more about Ezneer. I believe everyone must be interested in why this product was called Ezneer. Ezneer is a combination of the words easy, zirconia, and veneer. It aims that technicians and dentists can simply complete the production of veneer restoration by using Ezneer. And finally, patients can get a very beautiful smile. Then let's take a look at the strength and the translucency of Ezneer. The strength of Ezneer is over 600 MPa, and the translucency is over 60%. Of course, we also compared Ezneer with our Camel glass ceramic in terms of strength and the translucency. It can be seen that the strength of the Ezneer is 40% higher than that of glass ceramic, and the translucency is already close to that of the LT glass ceramic. Of course, to achieve the ideal translucency effect, the whole series of Ezneer are made of 5Y TZP ultra-high translucency zirconia powder. For the specific physical and chemical parameters, you can see the table. Okay, for the product sintering, we also provide two curves to choose from: a 3-hour fast firing curve and a regular firing curve. You can choose between the two curves according to your actual situation. For indications, because of the high translucency and the whitening characteristic of the Ezneer, we recommended you to use Ezneer for veneers or single crowns for anterior teeth. And we also provided design and preparation guidelines based on the material properties of the Ezneer. Here we focus on the design of the veneer, for Ezneer using as a veneer material. Because of the CAD/CAM processing capacity limitations, we recommend the design of 0.4 mm thickness to do the CAD/CAM processing. If you need a thinner thickness, you can manually polish to achieve. While the above is the basic information of Ezneer products, we all know that for a veneer material, its color design and how to solve the problem of bonding is the most important concern. Professor Kang Jianming is our Ezneer product development consultant. Let's hand the camera over to Professor Kang to give you a more detailed explanation of this product. Now please invite Mr. Kang.
Hi, good evening everyone. I am Jianming Kang. and it's a nice and special our can to introduce the Aidite new product to you. And the Ezneer is a special material designed for the veneer. And we know that Aidite already have a very nice zirconia material that is the 3D Pro. And we know 3D Pro is almost perfect the material can to fit the all indication. And it also have a very nice material property, and we don't worry to use it design a long span restoration. And the latest material is 100% from the torso, and this is my favorite material. And come back to think the 3D Pro can we can use the 3D Pro to design the anterior crown or bridge or posterior or implant restoration, and finally we also can to use it to design the long span bridge or the veneer. But the special things in the veneer indication is interesting because the 3D Pro is the multi-layer and the multi-translucent, so sometimes we won't get more high translucency. That is not the perfect. So the Aidite design and the development, the new material is the Ezneer, and the Ezneer can give us the almost the same glass ceramic translucency, and we can get a more better bending chance. So that is a good news for us. And you can to see about the when we design the veneer restoration, sometimes the thickness is very thin, almost 0.4 to 0.6 millimeters. And in this situation, you can to see the Ezneer is very close the glass ceramic translucency. So that is good and fit for the design veneer. And this is the paper guideline that I think is not a big thing, and is not a special difference with the glass ceramic. And in this product line, and Aidite and me, we create the 7 different color. Is the extra white and the bridging white, high value and low value. And we also design a bridge white multi-layer color and the high value white multicolor and the low value multicolor. And this is interesting if you want just design the normal and very close the shade guide veneer restoration. You just choose the multicolor and the red to glass, and you get you want. And sometimes for the non-prep or minimal prep, we can use the extra white or bridging white. And some participants maybe have confused why we design a special color to fit the Vida tape. And I just told you for veneer, sometimes this situation just dentist dentist just prepare the enamel area. So we just to design the enamel color and the enamel translucent. So we don't to design the choose the dentin color. So this is interesting. And if you want to make the more low value or very deeper color, I think that you don't care translucent. You just choose the 3D Pro, and that also can to fit to you. And we also know that this is a nice material from the torso. And this is the Ezneer color chair, and I separated this for 3 area. And what is this 3 area? And this is also another interesting history. And when we want to create the more the brightness and the bridging color, nowadays is very popular and the fashion. So when we want to create the very brightness and the bridging color veneer restoration, sometimes we will lose the translucent. But the Aidite design a very special color is the extra white, and this is the special and can give you a very high value brightness and whiteness, but don't to lose the translucent. So when we use this veneer on a different situation, maybe the A1 A1 the stump share or to the A3 stump share, you also can to use the bleaching white and the thickness just the 0.5 millimeter or 0.6. You also can get the bleaching color, and don't worry lose the translucent. So this is very interesting, and this is the color chart can help the dentist or the technician to easy choose that you want the material and the thickness. And this is the color chart is a neutral wrong, because when we use the low value, because we know the neutral teeth, the enamel close, the edge part is more low value, and it's not really brightness. Just only bleaching teeth have the very brightness, the color and the value, but neutral teeth is almost the low value, and so you choose the low value Ezneer black and you can create the more like the neutral teeth view. And we also can choose the multicolor black, and very easy to fix the you want the final result, and just with the glaze the treatment. And finally, if the very dark the shade number, maybe the A3.5 or A4 or the brown dark or like the root color, and when we use the EWBW or the multicolor, you also can make your teeth more brightness, and you can do change the color. But sometimes this is a little just cover the color, but you can get the 100% totally right to match the Vita shape. This is the interesting, because almost when you just use the veneer, you want to change the final color is difficult, but we can to change the value and make it more brightness. So when we use the Ezneer, want to change or improve the patient's teeth, and we use this material, we also can to get the more brightness, the more close the neutral teeth. And if you want to make it very dark or very low value teeth like A4 or root, and you want the final result is really like the neutral A4 or A3.5, I think you just choose the 3D Pro, maybe A3.5 or A4. You don't use the veneer Ezneer this material. And for the Ezneer, Aidite also create the shade tape, and this shade tape is different like the Vita Pen or the 3D Pro shade tape. Is like the piece and have the different thickness, and we also create a smaller curve. So when we use the shade tape, you can direct use it in the patient's mouth to shade taking, and you also can apply a little maybe the liquid or the translucent gel on the back, and you can direct use it put it in the patient's mouth, and you can direct to view the color change, and that is more easy help dentists to choose the right material shape, and also can help for the dental technician make their work is more easy. So you can to see it's interesting. In this area we can to see the color is a little change, and this is almost 0.4 to 0.5. So we know choose this thickness, and we can to change color like the final result, and you also can to show it a result to the patient, and can to decrease the complaint or argue. And for when we use the Ezneer material, we can get more good benefit and advantage, because this is lower cost than the glass ceramic, the block, and that is the more high bending strength, and also have the more good biocompatibility than the glass ceramic, and the lead is also can to get the better detail and the margin and the surface texture than the glass ceramic, because that is the enlarger to mini, and so we don't worry our margin area is easy to chip when we mining. And this is also can easily get the multicolor and help you faster to finish your job, and you don't worry to need to stand a lot of times. Maybe just use the glass the technique you can to finish the patient, and the easy process for the digital workflow, because the Zirconia is the digital workflow, and this is a good benefit and a good workflow for the dental laboratory, because the many dental laboratory to make the glass or ceramic still use the press technique, so that will lose a lot of time, and you need to waste up investing and press and developing and trying. So this is a very long and difficult workflow. But for this digital workflow, you can to save the data, and you can easy to reproduce and very fast to meaning to get that you want the final result. And I know that maybe some the user have the confused and big the question about the bonding of the Zirconia material, and we must to know the first thing. Bonding is the tools and the resin cement and the Zirconia, but during the tools and the resin cement and the Zirconia frame, we also have the bonding agent and the ceramic primer. And this is interesting, is we want to improve and make the ceramic primer have a good function, and then we can make it to easy get the good bending strength with the resin cement. And the structure, the bonding agent, the dentist's work, is not the technician's work. And we must know the first thing, what is the Zirconia surface pretreatment before the cementation. We must do the three things: is clean and make the rough surface and make the surface activation. And how to do that? If we want to clean the surface, we can use the sandblasting, or maybe a special liquid either cleaner, or we can also use the acid etching. And then we want to create the surface become the roughness, we can use the sandblasting or use the acid etching. And then you want to activation the surface, we can use the sandblasting either clear, or use the now is a special technique, the plasma, or use the NDP primer. And then when we do this, we can make the bonding strength is more good than with the resin cement. So it's the precision and the step. So in my opinion and my experience, I like to use the sandblasting or the etching to get the roughness and clean the surface. And another thing is use the NDP primer to make a surface activation. And the now final step is use adhesive the resin cement. And this is interesting and big discussion topic. Why? Because if a dentist create if dentist prepare if the dentist preparation the veneer tools for the dental technician, if you prepare the retention foam and you don't worry a lot of the problem with the bonding, because we have the retention foam. But if it is non-paper or paperless or like a BPR restoration design, is no retention foam, this step is very important, because the Zirconia without any glass crystallization is without any the glass inside, so we can use the acid to etching it, get the rough surface, and also don't have the reaction layer. So this is not good for the resin cement bonding, and also not good for the ceramic primer. So if possible, follow these three steps, you can get the good and enough bonding strength. But nowadays, I know that many companies design a different Zirconia bonding function, the bonding function, the technique, maybe like zero coils. They have a very high percentage of acid to etch in the Zirconia, but it also have another problem, because this way is a high risk for the workflow, because this is also danger. And after the etching, the Zirconia frame maybe will decrease about the strength, and also affect a few Zirconia property. So this is not good. But this is direct mechanical etching. and you can get a very roughness surface. But the risk is effect about the strength and make the property is a little change. And maybe DMAS company, they have applied the special glass, the liquid, you can apply it before the sintering. But after the sintering, we don't know the release or how many the glass on the surface. And after the trying, maybe they will damage and or we will lose lead. And the bigger problem is we can to find any data about this solution. So this is it's like the secret, and we don't know what about the bonding strength for this technique. And another company, the Reconia Etching Cloud System, is also like the DMAS, but is the after the sintering we use the maybe 90%. 90.5% the acid to each in our Reconia, but this is also no any data reference can to support this concept. So I don't know how about their function or how about their really bonding strength, because no any data on any article is like the DMAS. But for real coils, we have some data references for support, and that we can to see and to check. But the problem I say is the high risk for the user, and another problem is the strong acid will affect the Reconia strength and the property. So if possible, maybe we can to think just if we can to think if we can to make the Reconia like the glass ceramic, and how to do. The Aidite also to make the new product is the Biomic, the DC. This is a special DC silicate supply, and we can direct use it the supply on the Reconia surface after the sintering, and just the one bag program, and we can to see it's very interesting. Our Reconia is integrated into the DC connects the layer will interface into the Reconia surface, and that can get the mechanical strength, bonding strength, and the outside become the silicate. So in the clinic, we wanted to cementation the Reconia veneer or Reconia crown, just follow the glass ceramic the etching solution, and it's very easy and no risk, and very fast, and you can get the same or better than the glass ceramic bonding strength. And if you're interested, maybe you can to contact Aidite and to ask this the new product. So you can to see this is a raw material on the Reconia surface, and after this bag supply the DC connector, and after DC connector etching, you can to see the SEM the photo. This is like the silicate and the glass ceramic the surface. So this is interesting, and this is easy workflow and no risk, and we also can get a very strong bonding strength, the same the glass ceramic with the neutral teeth. And this is the case report. And the fact, if you want like create the bridging teeth, now it's very popular. Many patients like this. You can do see this patient, this lady, his lower teeth is more yellow and dark, but you want to make the bridging the upper teeth, and I chose the Ezneer, and I use the bridging white, and use the leasing connector supply in the inner core and the bake, and the outside adjust the shape, and use the Biomic the stand outside, and I finish this case. And in the patient's mouth, and the dentist finish, and the cementation solution is like the same glass ceramic. And also like this patient is the same, is more the caries or the dark or discoloration teeth, and he also wanted to make the bridging teeth. And this is just the high value, and also the same solution I use the leasing connector supply inside and the bag, and then adjust shape, and I use the Biomic stand outside, and you can to see after cementation in the patient's mouth is a bridging teeth, and very like the glass ceramic, But this solution and this technique and this workflow is very easy and fast than the glass ceramic. So for this solution and with the Ezneer material, we can very fast give the patients want result and also fast finishing the dentist job and save the clinical time. And if you want to create your veneer more like the neutral teeth, and also you can use the Ezneer. You can choose the Ezneer material, and the rest use the external stain or apply the very micro layer porcelain on the surface. Like this case, is the two discoloring anterior to central teeth and the two lateral teeth we want to create a veneer. And I also to use the 3D Pro for the crown and use the Ezneer for the veneer, and apply the supply the distinct connector in the veneer inside, and I apply the color liner to cover the discoloration tooth in the central teeth inside. And this is the interesting case and the interesting indication. And this is the final result, and we can do see. I use a micro layer skill and the biomix stain. I finish the two veneer and the crown, and we can get the neutral view. But if you want to create the you want to create the bridging teeth, you just use the extra white or bridging white multi. So this is the easy way. So finally, this material, if you interested, you can to find the information from the Aidite, the Facebook or their website. And if you interested, you can to send a mail to contact them. And this is a very interesting and a very high translucency zirconia material in the marketing. And if you're interested, maybe you can do try it. And thank you for listening, and thank you for your attention. Okay, I just change back for the edit. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Daniel Swami. I am the Director of Technology for Aidite, and today we are very proud to introduce to you a revolutionary material that is specifically made for veneers, and it's called our Ezneer zirconia. We are so happy that you are part of our introduction process, and just wanted to touch on some basics of this material so that you may be able to understand that this is a very unique zirconia that is made for veneers with all the optical properties and the strength that you would need for veneers. So it has 60% translucency with 600 MPa of flexural strength, and this is very ideal for thinner veneers. Applications can be as thin as 0.2 millimeters to 0.3 millimeters, and also it can be used for no prep veneers. So this is available in 7 configurations. You can have choices in bleach shades, multi-layer, and value shades. So basically, you can cover the entire range of patient situations, whether you are wanting to cover dark understructures or just make some very beautiful aesthetic types of veneers. One of the things that is quite prevalent in our industry is the inability to cover the dark understructures, and we feel that with the 7 choices you will be easily able to do this, where you can create beautiful restorations even if the understructure is dark. Okay. Then we have this light multi-layer colors. They're very beautiful from incisal to cervical, and also the body. Okay. And then also the dry milling capabilities makes this an ideal material. You can place a large number of units in a disc, and this enables you to reduce the cost of materials. So we feel that the expensive lithium disilicate materials and glass is no longer a great options option because we feel that this new veneer material will replace that and it will give you beautiful results. So thinner preparations, designs, no prep veneers are all possible. And then with a thin application of sintered lithium disilicate material, a thin application of sintered lithium disilicate spray material will enable you to etch this on the intaglio surface for bonding. And we feel that the etching pattern is very conducive to bonding, and these restorations will last in the mouth. Also feel that this special zirconia can be used for all different situations, and you will be able to create beautiful looking restorations in your labs and dental practices. Also available is a shade guide, so you can choose which material to use in your operatory or in the lab, so you can have exact matches and be able to control whichever choices that you make for the veneers. Thank you very much for watching. We're pleased and excited that you've joined us. We hope that you will try this material in the near future.